Welcome to the Kev and Pickle Show. As we always do, let us introduce ourselves.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. No, I'm not Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious. I am Kev.
And I, of course, am Pickle. And yes, you are definitely not Vin Diesel, Kev. So
He's
you're
got
not.
a very big head. Like, I've got a big head, but he's got a huge head.
And also, because he's shaved completely bald, it looks even like just...
Do you know what he kind of looks like?
What?
My left ball.
What?
My left
Is
ball.
that the real one? Is that the real one?
That's the real one, yeah.
All right, okay.
My left ball, that's what he looks like.
Man, there's a topic, isn't it, at some stage?
A nutsack. But he doesn't look like a nutsack. Like, the top of his head's really smooth, and then he kind of has this wrinkly kind of forehead because he's
I suppose...
kind of looks like,
he looks like a nutsack of a guy like you who takes good care of his nutsack. You know what I mean?
Who shaves his nutsack, yeah.
Yeah, and you have openly said it, Kev, on the show.
Yeah.
You do like shaving your nutsack. I do call it nutsack. It's a little different from the norms, what I say. Right, Kev. It's episode number 40. 40.
It's history lesson.
But it's not just that, Kev. It's episode 40. We're 10 months in.
Big 4-0. Yeah,
right?
10 months in.
10 months in. Your brother said last week, we got to talk about that as well, actually. Remember last Sunday? We got to actually bring that into the show, right? We'll do it later on, though. We'll do it in the topics instead of in the week, okay? Your brother had said, Jesus, hey, it's nearly at 40. And it made me think, but we're also nearly at 52. And of course, 52 is the birthday. You know what I mean?
It is the birthday.
That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. Right. The history lesson today from 1940. These years kind of suck.
I wonder if people are actually enjoying this.
Well, there's quizzes on out there, I think. So I don't know if the birthdays, I think, are more beneficial, right? The only thing that I thought was half interesting in 1940 was on the 26th of August. Interesting day, you might say. So World War II was on in 1940. And
it was
Ireland,
on. Someone just switched it on, did they?
Yeah. Well, see, Ireland didn't do anything in the war. They called it the emergency, right? That wasn't called World War because they were neutral. So they just called it the emergency, right? But it turns out on that fateful day, 5 German bombs were dropped on County Wexford in a daylight raid. One hit the Shelbourne Cooperative Creamery. I'm sure they had a reason for that. In Campile, which unfortunately killed 3 women that day.
I think that's the reason. Do you know the reason? Then they started putting ERA all over the land in Ireland, around the borders, around the coastline. They put these big kind of ERA symbols on the ground. So if German if German did fly over, they'd realise, Jesus Christ, we flew too far.
Yeah, that's not England.
Go back. That's Ireland. So let's turn the plane back around there. We went too far.
Keep that bomb.
But I don't think the sat nav wouldn't have been the best in 1940.
And I don't think they had Alexa and all that telling them like where to go and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Turn left, turn right. No, I didn't do that.
The most important part of a history lesson is, of course, the birthdays, because people use them for the quizzes.
Hopefully. Oh, you love these ones, yeah.
I think you might like this birthday because you have a weird memory of childhood books, and I could be completely wrong here, right?
And Barry.
No, well, I don't know. You'll tell me in a minute, right? The 28th of May, Maeve Binchy was born. Why does that name sound familiar to me? She's
an old one. Your mother probably read her books. Your mother probably read her books, being honest.
I don't know. I thought you were going to turn around and go, "Oh, we did something at school for Maeve Binchy."
No, Maeve Binchy. No, she'd be more for an old one's reading.
Right.
For an old woman's reading book.
Yeah. Well, remember, we do have some over 60-year-olds that listen to the show. Yeah. If you do,
my mother would have read the books.
I don't think your parents are going to be listening after today. Especially not what I'm going to ask you. Kev, 2 blokes then, right? So we have 3 birthdays, right? 2 blokes.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris. March the 10th. He was a week before you, and also 44 years. Chuck Norris, right?
What age is he? 1940. So what is he?
80, 60, and 21. Oh. So 61?
No, pickle.
40 to is 60. 81. Yeah, 81. Sorry, I skipped 20 years. And then obviously the same age, because he was 7 days before you. Somebody is 8 days after me, the 25th of April. Greatest motivational speech ever in a film to do with sport.
Al Pacino.
Yes, so any given Sunday, every fucking inch.
He's 81.
Yeah. So he is. Not bad, hey, not bad. Yeah, so that's
Al
the Bertus.
Pacino.
That's the Bertus for this week. So it is like, hey. So Kev, tonight, obviously, as we said, we are going to welcome on a guest. And you know what? We're becoming pros at this whole mid-episode interview.
You fucking jinxed it. You fucking jinxed it.
Well, I think I figured out why last week's episode was cut in half, right? Because me and Emily went on to it, right? And then she went off it, and when you were on it. So the three of us were on it at one stage, right? And I think something to do with that, why the 40 minutes, I'm trying to come up with something here. I haven't got a clue. But I'm gonna get a text ready here, okay? But look, we move on to the weeks anyway, so we do. We're going to talk properly about the weeks in a minute or so, okay? But in general, how's your week, Kev? How's it good? How's everybody?
Great week. I had a great week. Oh, so we may as well talk about a pickle before we can go.
Yeah, we'll do a quick little chat, yeah.
There was my daughter's communion there on Sunday. I need, before I talk about the day, I need to give a big shout out to some of our previous listeners and previous sponsors and previous speakers on the show. Michael Lynch's Menswear, they sort of made me class blazer. I thought it looked quite fucking handsome and
yeah, but I kept thinking you had food on it, like here. There was a weird.
No, that was the
hole.
The hole. Yeah. And then we had Miranda. Miranda doing the photography from Shut Up Photography. Yeah. Absolutely great. So just a shout out to both of those for coming out and looking after me.
I hate the way you say it though, Kev. It sounds like you say "shut her up." It is like the way you say it.
It's called "shut her up."
Shut her up. Shut her up.
Shut her up. Photography.
Shut her up. Yeah. But no, fair play.
So yeah, it was a great day. Absolutely fantastic. Good a laugh. She loved it. She didn't take the dress off from about 8:30 to about 7:30.
And great food.
So yeah,
great food.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thumbs up on the food.
I do like a bit of chefing or cooking, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I do enjoy that. I couldn't stand people coming into my house with food. Oh, that'd wreck me head. As in caterers. That would drive me bloody insane. Especially knowing that I can do it.
Yeah, but I love your house because like you had rows of tables for people to sit on in the middle of your kitchen or your middle of your sitting room. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't fit like 6 people in my sitting room. You know what I mean? You had like, well, COVID relation, you had the adequate amount of people.
But you know how many people as you want now?
It would only if it's a sporting event. You can still only have 10 people at a restaurant table, but you can have like 50,000 at a football match.
Yeah. What about
it hurts, Kev.
Tonight's Friday night. The nightclubs are opening tonight.
Yes, not Ridley's though. They're waiting a week.
All right. Imagine the stinging vaginas that are going to be there tonight.
We're going to talk about that later on.
Lads using hand sanitizer and then fingering some young one. God help them.
Right, here. Well, Michal, we have our guest coming on now, Kev, right? Because we're going to talk about that properly in a wee bit, right? And I know you're going to introduce this gentleman as soon as he comes on. And fingers crossed, everything goes to plan here, folks. Come on, you're surviving with us here, right? And I said,
especially now after Pickle kind of probably jinxed the whole fucking thing. Yes, so let's see what happens. Yeah. He's not on yet, so let's fill some air time.
He texted me. No, but I was going to say was, Kev, next week, right, is Halloween, right? I said to you months ago, if we last till Halloween, it's the easiest episode ever, Kev, because we have so many bullshit stories from when we were younger. Oh, here we go. See, we're pros.
Look at the hang on a second. Before we start this, right, for people that can't see, right, Michal, I guess it's Michael McArdle. That is some goatee, some beard going on there, I must say.
Why can't I do that? Hey, I just can't do it.
Look at this is the trimmed down version of it, Kevin. This is the trimmed down version of it.
Brilliant.
Well, lads,
it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Kev, introduce this gentleman.
But that is a fantastic beard. That is fantastic beard. It was Baby Loss Awareness Week. It was running from the 9th of October to the 15th, and Remembrance Day was October the 15th. This kind of represents all kind of newborn death for families. The loss of an infant and is devastating as it is, but including everything that was miscarriage, sudden infant death, and stillborn. This all kind of comes under the one remit for that week. And Michal had a post up during, I think, early in the week, and we kind of, it took me by surprise. I think it took Pickle by surprise, and then Pickle got in contact with Michal that And Michael, maybe you want to talk about what you actually posted and how that came about.
Yeah, thanks a million. Yeah, so last week was Baby Loss and Awareness Week. So for any babies that were lost during pregnancy or early childhood, and I think, look, I'll be brutally honest, I was a little bit green to this type of world until what happened myself and my wife Laura back in March. But yeah, I put a post up. I think the first lines are definitely attention grabbing, but the words that really stuck in my head. It's something that my wife didn't intend to land the message that way, but that's just the words that she used on the phone that day, where she went for a scan after a little bit she felt there was some complications of 14, 15 weeks, and got a phone call saying, Michael, our baby's dead. And not the phone call you ever think you're going to get. I think obviously during COVID times, you couldn't, as a dad, be there in the hospital. It was sort of routine-ish appointment, and I was at home. We had the plans made for the rest of the day. Laura was going to go to the hospital, get the scan, go back, do a bit of shopping, come back, pick up the wee guy, and go back to work in the afternoon. So it really came as a bit of a shock to both of us. But those are the words that came. So yeah, I put a post up on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Got quite a lot of traction as well on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think it wasn't so much the post or even people sort of the recognition of the likes and the shares that it got. I think one thing that blew me away is the amount of private messages I got, and still am getting up until even as far as today, where people that I don't know as far away as Canada are sharing their story with me about how themselves have gone through something very similar, whether it's the woman or the man, to people that I'd meet or know or have worked with very closely in the past, have gone through this in sort of somewhat of a shame or in silence. So it's very much, I don't have a big social media following or anything. I don't really use social media that much, but the fact that it got that much reach and attention, it means that there's definitely a lot of stigma still out there.
That's it. Like, and as you said, if you don't use something very often, when you put up a message like that, it just it changes straight away. So it does. But like, look, right. I know we want to get into the stigma of it. We want to get into, like, the whole impact on it. But like, I have to start, in a sense, at the start of your post, right? When you, right, and this is just three blokes here talking, right? Okay, like, we all have kids, all right?
Nobody's listening, like.
Yeah, just three blokes talking, right? But no, like, as a dad, right, you get that phone call and you hear those words. Like, I have to ask, like, what is that first thing in your head? Like, apart from I need to be there, because obviously we all know what it was like during COVID. So we do, when you couldn't be there, okay? But what is that first emotion? What's that first thought, Michael, that you just, when you hear those words, like?
I can't really remember. The first thought was, like, why I wasn't there. Laura and I had a sort of one of those mini arguments that morning about, I'd taken the morning off to look after our 2-year-old son Alfie, and it's like, I'll drive you up and sit outside just in case. Yeah. I know, like, it was more economic of the plans you had that day, but I just wanted to be there. And it was just, I think that first initial, like, her alone in the hospital was just heartbreaking for me, crying over the phone. The second thing is, like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. This is like miscarriage, and you hear about this a lot. And I know for people that have had teams and being a people leader, may have had teammates that would have gone through this previously, and it was just very different for me going through this experience. I didn't know how to react, what the right thing to say or do was. It was just crazy.
You don't expect it. Yeah, like, you don't expect it. So how do you know how to react to something like that? So it isn't, like, I would have been the same with Albert, like, because, like, we went up to the hospital and I was always just out, on the road, like, just waiting and praying and hoping, like, hey. But Kev, you get stuck into it. I know you wanted to ask about the stigma and stuff like that, hey.
Yeah, the stigma of it, Michael, like, I think a lot of people don't know what to say, or don't know how to say it to you, or even, like, people don't want to say on your side of it. And if they do tell people don't know what to say to you, or how to say it, or what do I say, how do I say it? Oh, I'll do the best thing, I'll say nothing. I think that's where most people kind of come down into it. If I say nothing, then it doesn't really exist, and I kind of will well, everything's okay if I don't say it.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because everyone handles it very different. I think if you look at anyone who's going through a early pregnancy, there's this, let's keep it hush until 12 weeks. And obviously the majority of miscarriages happen, before 12 weeks. And the less people that know, the less people you have to have that conversation with. So it's inherently sort of bet into us from a very early stage that, if something does happen, it's good to contain the amount of people that have it. That's good and bad. It's good if that's the way you want to handle it, but not so good that, if you want to talk about it, we always try to look at the silver lining. What happened, Laura, she didn't have to have a DNC. It was too far gone. The baby was too far gone, had bones. She had to go through the full labor and delivery. And I think because we had passed the 12-week stage, we had a lot of people told, in hindsight, that was a great thing because people were able to be there for us, and particularly for my wife, where if it had to happen in less than 12 weeks, would we have got the support we needed? Would we be able to talk about it as much? But around the stigma, Kevin, I think my wife works in the service industry, and where this post originated from, she worked every Tuesday and Saturday. She had a tough day on Tuesday. Wednesday, she just literally couldn't get out of bed, just not fit for life, just couldn't. And a lot of that week was tough in terms of, it was in the media, there was a lot of posts about it. But the stigma piece is where people would say, like, yeah, well, I heard of someone that, they had their baby at 20 weeks, so it's not as bad as that. Or I know someone that the baby was 3 weeks old and they died.
Yeah.
And I think people there's a good intent behind what they're trying to say. It's like, your situation isn't as bad as that. But like, if you break a finger, Kev, and I break my arm or I lose my arm, yes, Jesus, that's way worse. But still doesn't stop the pain that you have in your finger, and you still have to heal in the same way that you would normally have to heal. And I think that's what's probably the most, like, hearing those stories doesn't make it better for someone, it just makes it worse. It makes people feel that they're completely out of touch with the whole situation.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, well, it has to be, because you say, analogy kind of going on, because it is that no matter what, like, and pain for somebody, no matter how big or small it is, can be different for somebody else. You know what I mean? No matter how you rate pain, people rate pain in a different sense. So as you said, people losing a child at 3 weeks, people losing a child at 6 weeks, it's still a loss. The loss has to be grieved. A loss you still have to try to get over, even though you probably never get over it, but you still have to try to have that process, the process of going through each kind of point of it. But as a stigma, I think, as you said, people don't know what to say, where to say it, or even what to do with it, with that information. But it is, I think, a lot of people, within the 12 weeks, usually people don't tell anyone. It's kind of like, okay, well, and if you lose it, like, I think Rosanna Davison was in the papers this week. I think she had 18 miscarriages and nobody ever knew about it. And it was kind of, that's what Jesus Christ, hold on a second. This is life, and it can happen to anybody, and anything can cause it. But it is, I'm sure, Michael, in that moment, you were like, what is going on? How has this happened? And even how do you go about telling those family members, those family friends of, okay, hang on a second, guys, this isn't good news. This is how we, like, how does that begin?
I think a lot of it will stem on the man. Depends on the individual. For us, we're very open people. We're no problem talking about our journey or any sort of situations you have. Anyone that knows myself or Laura, we don't there's no secrets as such. And I think we've used that in those times to be able to have those conversations. But it was tough. Like the first couple of days, like, it's the way it happened. It was during Paddy's weekend. We was in Drogheda Hospital, and we were sent home on the Tuesday because nobody was around on Wednesday because it was Paddy's Day. We were brought back Thursday. We were told we were scheduled in for the labour on the Saturday. It just got drawn out, and I think that added to the trauma. Then we found out on Thursday that there wouldn't be a DNC. We'd have a baby. Did we want to bury it ourselves? Do we want to put it in a mass grave? You're faced with all these decisions. You're like, what is going on here? Hang on a minute. Not only did we just lose a baby, now it's just, we're talking about funerals, or like, what is the right thing to do? What's the best way to grieve? And then you have family members saying, that wasn't the way in my day. It was just like, that's not what I need to hear right now.
No.
Oh, just be there, like, just be there.
Yeah, decisions have to be made, and those, in those times, you just don't think that'll ever happen. Yeah,
it's nuts.
Obviously, like, I know we're not skipping over anything here at all, but like, we're on about the impact like that it has. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, just for argument's sake, I mean, like, you're going through that phase, right? You get to that Saturday, but like the following Saturday, the following Saturday, the following month, the following 6 months, like, we were talking about the impact that it has on people. And every family is different. Some families aren't strong enough to deal with it. Some families get stronger when stuff like this happens. Everybody literally reacts so differently. Me and Kevin know people who have unfortunately lost kids, but these were grown-up kids. These were, you know what I mean, like 18 years old, you know what I mean? Like, and they still have not got over that kind of thing. Like, it's part of stigma as well, because you need to be able to talk about it. But like, what do you think in relation to like the impact it can have on families? Like, you know what I mean? As you said, like, you have wee Alfie as well, you know what I mean? Like, who I'm sure just literally brightens up like every day, no matter what, at that age. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously with you and Laura, like, is our strength when you are together, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking, did it have an impact on you, but what do you think about the impact that it can have, like, you know what I mean, on parents? Like,
yeah, look, there's no point lying about it. It has sort of changed a lot of how we look at life. I say Laura's got over it, or even myself? No, definitely not. There's the frequencies of those down days are a lot less, but you know, I think you can only, and I use that finger analogy again, you can only grieve or experience the pain that you have. And I think a lot of the time we live our lives, you know, worried about what other people think, you know, where people who have lost actually grown up kids, and how that pain must be so much more severe. And it may be, but it still doesn't change the situation that we're in. So I think, you know, overall, you'll never get over it. You just live with it. One thing that we did do last week was actually name the baby. And that was something that both of us were a little bit iffy about, because naming our baby, which we named Grace,
beautiful,
was a little bit sort of, it makes it really more real. Like a little person as such. And but the funny thing about it is, lads, once we did that, it was sort of like a weight off our shoulders, and it's probably another chapter in that sort of grief, particularly for my wife. Because, you know, it's
I'm not trying to be not crude or anything like that, but at a certain point, it's a thing and not a person. You know what I mean? So if you put a name to it, then it's actually, no, that's actually a somebody instead of a something. I think that's where, if you name something or name, it's nearly like a full stop for you, Micheál. It's at a certain point, and as you said, a new chapter. But yeah, that must be that. That fair play to you.
And a beautiful name. A beautiful name.
I know she's a strong person from Castle Ballingham, like, so it's hard to beat that sort of thing.
Your neck of the woods, yeah, for sure. But I think, look, I was very lucky in the sense that I was, you know, the pandemic was a savior for us, for me working at home where I'd normally be in Dublin and commuting quite long hours. Very lucky that I had a very understanding and reasonable and aware boss that gave me a lot of extra time, you know, to be there for Laura. But I think in terms of with the mental health of things, and three lads here on a podcast, you know, a lot of the weight does fall on the man, and it is a very different experience for the man than it is the woman. Like, the men don't carry the baby, so like I can't imagine what that must feel. But at the same time, we have to be that rock, even on our own down days, and even if work is pretty stressful and we're trying to keep in the zone, you know, we have to be there as well, and that can be the tough part of the journey too.
And you had mentioned me all about, and I hope I pronounced it right last week when I said it, Féileacáin. I'm shocking at Irish. Yeah, I'm shocked. Like, Emma's now in Irish school, so I'm just like learning stuff every day. You know what I mean? Like, obviously,
you're not even that good with English. Let's be honest about it.
Fair enough. But no, like, obviously you had mentioned them in the post and that as well, you know, because obviously they were running, in a sense, the awareness week and that. Like, is there anything you want to kind of mention just about those guys?
I would, yeah. No, I have to, like, look, I've had friends that had experienced miscarriage, and I was one of those guys. I could stay quiet. I don't know what to say, so better off saying nothing at all. And I didn't realize some of the help and support that everyone receives from the charity Féileacáin. You get this little memory box in the hospital, and it's scary how procedural it is in terms of how frequent these things happen. But you get this little memory box, and you get to stamp your baby's footprints and handprints, and a little memory card, little teddies that you get to keep with the baby while it's in the hospital, and you get to keep a teddy, and then before you bury the baby, you can swap the teddies around. I think stuff like that is just, you'll always have that and cherish that, but that's not going to be your immediate thought in those situations or in the hospital. And like I think that box costs like 50 or 60 quid. So like we immediately, give a donation, and I think it's such a worthwhile charity, something that doesn't probably get enough publicity until you're in that situation, that it just provides that comfort and support, plus a lot of counselling and after loss services that provide to parents as well. So not just that little memory box, but it's an amazing charity.
Well, Kev, I actually dealt with them when I was in National Pen. They actually had an account with National Pen, so but maybe for printing and stuff, right? Okay, and I didn't. It was Avril actually said it to me one day last week when I mentioned the charity, right? She said, "Do you not remember?" I had a really deep conversation with them about something that I would have known personally, right? And out of nowhere, they actually sent a candle. She'd asked me for my address, right? And sent me a candle, which marked the thing that we had been speaking about, right? And I was blown away by this. I was just like, I don't know this woman that I was talking to, like, you know what I mean? And like, that was what, 5-6 years ago, Kev, now probably. And it came into me head then when Avril had said it to me. I was like, that woman's like went in to look up details of something that I had told her, and then sent me a candle for it with name and everything on it. And it was just like, that blew my mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to do with me, if you know what I mean. I just was so blown away by the work that they clearly did, and I knew nothing about it back then. And being honest, I still know nothing about it right now. You know what I mean? Like, because you know what I mean. Like, I would love to learn more about all these charities, do these great works, and that's what me and Kev's trying to do with different charities and that. But like Micheál, like they just seem like they just know what to do. Of course they know, but you know what I mean. They know.
I think, look, it's been set up by parents who just felt that there wasn't enough sort of focus around this type of a topic, and it builds on from the stigma, not directly related to Féileacáin, but other people have sort of taken it on a more local phrase, where in Louth Hospital on the maternity ward, there's the Dragonfly Room. And that's unfortunately a room that it's a dedicated room where parents go after they've been told that they've lost their baby during pregnancy or even after birth. So it's Féileacáin's an amazing charity. They provide a lot of different services, not just for women, but also for men and for dads too. I haven't availed directly of the services, but I know so many people who have, and I think again, one thing that blew me away is just the amount of direct messages I got, a lot on LinkedIn actually, from people that were in similar situations who got help from Féileacáin. So seriously worthwhile.
That's brilliant, man. Like I text you straight with literally telling you I loved you. You know what I mean? And I was just telling you like, no, but like that's just me. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, you know what I mean? Like if I don't know what to say, I can tell you I love you. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing I'll tell anybody. Like, you know what I mean? But like it blew my mind when
I'll be honest, I was on the other side of Micheál. I was like, what do I say there? What do you say? And that's being honest. I don't run away from how it is, but it's a good. What do you say? How do I say? Do I say anything? Do I just leave it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? I mean, that's the whole scenario. And as you said, that is a signal. But Micheál, thanks very much for coming on and giving
Micheál,
all your details.
I have to do one quick thing, right?
Okay,
right? Because obviously I work with your brother, okay? And
yes,
I was saying to him today how you were coming on for a chat, and he was like, "Oh, sure, them two boys could talk loads about parks, right?" Now, Micheál, we have a first birthday coming up in January where we're going to do a live show, right, with an audience and all that. Now, I'm holding back on everything that I remember from parks, right? But all I'm asking you is, what was it like working with that fella over there, wherever he is?
Oh, Jesus, Kevin, a legend. I don't think the place would have been the same without him. Yeah. You couldn't predict what he was going to say, or more importantly, do.
Or where.
Where. It was just, I have plenty of stories if you need that in Pecco.
We might bring you on.
I have a few stories too, but
I'm sure you do.
Make sure you're in the audience that night, right? So that we can call upon you. so we can. But no, as Kev said, Micheál, like, thanks so much for coming on and wanting to talk about this. It's, look, our platform's here for you. In any sense, it's here for anybody, you know what I mean, like, that wants to come on and try and talk, and if it can help in any way at all, like, we really appreciate it, Micheál. Like, honest to God, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us tonight. Hey,
yeah, no problem at all. Anything you want. I think it's good to highlight issues like this, particularly issues where, you know, there's not a lot of focus on the man in the role, where you know, it's the man is a different role. So yeah, absolutely. And I love the show, lads. Keep it up.
Class.
Good, Micheál. Thanks very much.
Micheál, thanks, buddy. Talk to you again.
No worries. Take care. Bye.
Right, can we take a breath?
There we go, Pickle.
There we go, Kev.
We're usually quite light-hearted on here now. Over the last couple of weeks, we do kind of hit certain topics. Guys, I think it's important. Yes, we're here to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke and a bit of light-hearted entertainment, but also, like, these shit happens. Shit happens every day. Shit happens to people.
Yeah, you should be able to talk about it. So you should.
This is where we kind of come into it, and we kind of we tend not to take the stigma out of it, but we kind of just, this is normal life. This is what happens. This is how, and this is what people go through every day. So that's why we kind of bring all this sort of information to you, so you know more a little bit about it too.
Exactly.
And guys, if you're all going through it, or you did something like this did happen, Féileacáin is there for your support. So guys, I'm sure if you check on Facebook, Instagram, or on our website, you can do that and get that in more information if you need it. But yeah. There you go, Pickle. I think we better.
Yes, Kev.
I think we kick into the middle of the show at this stage.
Here, look it. Fuck it. Kev, your week was good. Your daughter Ellie Mae had a fantastic reunion. She looked amazing. The food was amazing. The photography done was brilliant. You thanked everybody. It was class. You did a savage job, mate, and you always do. I have to give you credit. You know how to put on a house event, if that's the word, if that's the right word to use.
Yeah, I'll take an event.
What I mean. You do, like, you know. Right, quickly. My week, Kev. Right. So we kind of ended the Summer League. We were playing the Summer League on Tuesday in the McConville Cup, which unfortunately we lost. We had like so many players away, it wasn't even funny, right? And also Key played like all their MDL players. Fair play, they didn't break any rules. They were allowed to do that. And plus, we bet them earlier in the season, so they probably wanted to beat us, right? But 2 days after that, Kev, you'll never guess what happened.
The Summer League.
The Winter League started. Yeah, the Winter League started. On Thursday night, we were playing against a player from 2 players in the League of Ireland, 3 players in the League of Ireland. So we were current League of Ireland players, or whatever that Northern League's called as well. I don't know, what's that called? The Ulster? No, the
Northern League, I think.
Northern League, right. So we were playing people who actually currently play in them 2 leagues, which was class. We lost, but I got like 17 new players. Half of them are like 16 and 17. And you know what, Kev? They're fucking class. Right, they are class. It was the most enjoyable game I've ever watched that we lost, right? It was 4-1, and I'd say we should have scored about 9 goals. It was insane how good we were. But yeah, apart from that, all's good. No bother at all. All's good with the week. Kev, would you rather?
It's your turn.
Talking about really mixing it up now, right? Kev, this is straight and this is simple. After you asking me last week what you asked me. And for people who don't know, go back and check it out before you hear me, right? Kev, would you rather have your brother sleep with your wife or your father sleep with your wife? And you're not watching it. There's enough of that crap, right? Okay. I like the way he's thinking.
My brother.
Okay, right. Okay. I thought that would have been quicker. Like, anyway, I was thinking that would have been a quicker answer.
No, my brother.
Right, your brother.
My brother. I'm not going to get the reasons of why or how.
No. I think we can. No. Yeah, I think we can cut it. Like, just leave it at your brother. Like, you know what I mean? But right, topics on the show, Kev. I know you wanted to talk about a bit of water.
Yeah, I want to talk about showers, Pickle. Right?
Yeah.
And the reason is I got into the shower on Tuesday night, and I felt as if the devil himself was pissing on me, Pickle. In other words, the water was literally I thought I was on that La Palma, that island over in fucking beside fucking Tenerife, and that's
Las Palmas.
No, La Palma, where the volcano was erupting. I thought there was lava running down my back. The water was that hot, and I came to me, why do it? Now, even my daughter does this, right? They scald themselves, they turn themselves like a lobster. Yeah. Why do women have such hot showers?
Well,
I don't understand it.
I think I know why.
Burn the skins off themselves.
Yeah, I think I know why. Because if it's anything like my house, do you know, Kev, if you turn a tap this much, okay, the water's the same heat as it is if you twist it 17 times. It's the same heat of water, right? That's coming out of it. But then the problem is you have to turn the cold tap. She's shouting at me, right? So she is. But you're the same. So you get into the shower and you're like, why is there lava hitting me right now?
Yeah.
So it's not just, so this is a general woman thing then.
Oh yeah. My wife has done this. My daughter does this. I think my wife's sister used to cheat. My wife's sister told me this.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, why we get into the shower after your wife's sister?
I think it's a woman thing that they do, just literally scald themselves to death just to, I don't know if it's pleasure, I don't know if it's pain, I don't know if it's trying to scrub tan off themselves.
That's a pole, Kev.
I don't know why, but like, I got in the other day and literally, sometimes I do, as you know, I like to have a cold shower, Pickle.
You do? Wim Hof?
I get in to have a cold shower and that's fine. But the cold shower is much easier to take than a roasting hot shower.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You're getting in and you're taking your life into your own hands. Yeah, you're taking your life into your own hands. Like I go in, I don't know what way you go in. I go in backwards. So I have the water hitting my back. Now I have one of those rainfall showers, right? So
of course you have.
I have one of those rainfalls. So it comes down from the top. It kind of comes down on top of you, right? But
yeah.
You still aim for your back, your neck with toxic. You know what I mean? If you wouldn't go in front ways. Yeah, if I went in front ways, Pickle,
just smack you. It's like
but I'd have a battered sausage up for a penis instead of a normal one. Like, I mean, it looked like
that's
it was deep fried, Pickle.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong.
It looked like it was deep fried penis. It looked like a battered sausage, a spit nicky, whatever way you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no need for it. So I'm calling all women out now. All women, turn the shower down. Well, if you want to have a shower and you want to bake yourself, cook yourself in lava, you go ahead and do that.
And
before you get out of the shower,
turn it down.
Get out of the shower, turn it down. We need to put the fucking toilet seat down.
Oh,
the fucking toilet seat down.
Fucking touche.
You turn the heat of the shower down. Otherwise, this is it. We're going to stand up for ourselves, lads.
Yeah.
If the women don't turn the shower down, we don't put the seat down.
Yeah, leave the toilet seat up unless they turn it down. Up.
Yeah.
Oh, Kev, we're going to start a revolution. So yeah, hey, I'm telling. That's a poll though.
We have to fight back, lads. We have to fight back.
We can do it, lads.
We cannot take this anymore. We can't have battered sausages for Mickey's. We cannot have it. No more of this. Carry on.
You would imagine your wife doesn't want, or your girlfriend doesn't want. You know what I mean? Like, well, unless it's one of the ones from Tony's Pizzeria, which are like they're a good size, like city are like.
But, no, that really, and that's been bothering me a long time now, Pickle. But it came to fruition there during the week when I literally when I thought I was on La Palma.
I'm so happy that we have set up this podcast so that you're able to get something out that I know this has been griping you, Kev. It's been griping you.
Well, I've been married, 11 years? Probably 11 years of that pain and anguish.
11? Ain't that still 10? No, I'm 9.
11.
No, it was 2 years. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Kev, I want you to put that up next week, like Monday or Tuesday. The poll. I'm after getting this thing again, Kev. This is going to end in 10 minutes.
I see that remaining meeting time 10 minutes. There's no way you can extend it now.
Well, it tells me to upgrade it and buy something, which is grand. We'll have a 50-minute episode instead of an hour. No big deal. So we will. Right. So, Kev, quickly, did I tell you about me pet mouse died?
No.
His name was Elvis. The wee bastard was caught in a trap. Love it. She's laughing in the background. She is. I should have got her to do it louder so you could have heard the reaction.
Laughing at you.
Yeah.
Laughing at you.
Yeah, I know. It was that, you know, the woman laugh when it's like, yeah, you're not funny. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, like that. Kev.
You spa.
I'm not even going to bother talking with someone else. I want to get straight into nightclubs, hand sanitizer, and fingering, right?
Yeah.
What is the government at?
How did we think about this at the exact same time, Pip?
I don't know. Because that's what you said at the start. I was like, no, wait. What, like, so you could be putting the hard work in on a girl, right? Okay.
Yeah, or MILF. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, like they want masks as well, don't they?
No, not if you're dancing. If you're dancing, you don't have to wear a mask.
Right, so you are up in the area, right, and your masks are on your chat, and you get her to dance, so you take the mask off, and she has like a Ronnie or something, and you're like, no, this is
but like
not.
you could be dancing right here. You are dancing away to YMCA or whatever, and you could be elbow deep, right?
Yeah.
And then the YMCA stops and fucking Chumbawamba comes on for talk's sake, and you stop dancing. See, the mask has to go on then.
I haven't been in Ridley's in like 8 years, right? Okay. Like I would nearly go back to laugh at how, and it's not blaming Ridley's, it's blaming the government, right? And just laugh at what they have to try and implement. You know what I mean? I don't know, Kev. It makes like the bars are all grand now. The bars are fine. You know what I mean? You go into the bar, you have your pint. It's fine. There's no issues. But I'm going
to call this out a little bit, though, Pecco. Okay.
Right.
I was in last Friday night. I was out having a few drinks, and I went to 3 bars in Dundalk. Okay. And they're talking about
fucking drink.
No, and they're talking about police, and they're talking about checking your COVID certs. Okay. I'm not going to name the bars I was in. Okay, but they're talking about COVID certs, and the government came out and said you need to be checking it. We're going to have to bring in security, and people are like, oh, why are you bringing in security? The 3 bars I went into, the first bar didn't even ask for COVID cert. The second bar asked for a COVID cert, didn't ask for ID to go with it. Okay, they just checked it and said, yeah, that's okay. So they didn't know if it was a valid cert or not. Okay, and the third bar, I walked straight into the bar, and there was no check. Okay, so that's 3 bars in the dock I was in on Friday night, and nobody checked for COVID cert properly. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where it's coming from. This is why all these more scenarios are coming out. Unfortunately, there's a bit of greed going on here throughout the whole industry, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But guys, check the COVID certs.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Kev.
and then
go on.
I was in the Blue Bar in Scarry's wedding. Okay.
Wings. Woo.
Wings on Wednesday. Loved them, and they checked it. They had no problem checking it. They checked it with the proper government ID, GovID app they have on the phone to check was it a valid cert. Absolutely no problem. So shout out to the Blue Bar and Scarry's for doing it properly. Guys in Dundalk, get your shit together, get it sorted. The numbers are going up. That's all I'm saying. Get it sorted. Otherwise, they're going to shut you down. Let's be honest about it.
Kev, I'm half contemplating that we should end this now and do like a second video again. Like last week, have part 1 and part 2, because I don't know if we're going to get everything done in 6 minutes. So I don't.
Okay. Well, guys, guess what? Part 1 has just ended. Part 2 will be on shortly. Please join us.